everybody, it's Rachel. I just wanted again to say hi to everybody and thank you to those who have watched, those that are coming back. Anybody who is new here, thank you for tuning in. I hope that you leave some comments below. I've enjoyed reading them, and leave a like if you like the video. So typically I've been talking about Harry and Meghan because they've been all over the news headlines, but we're actually going to switch gears today. And we're going to talk about something else that I'm interested in. Yes, Britney Spears. She is back in the news. So we're going to talk about her and her reconciliation with her mom, Lynne Spears. So yesterday, Lynne Spears apparently came to Britney's house and they spoke for about 30 minutes. And later that day, Britney Spears posted on her Instagram that they're working things out. And of course, I'm paraphrasing here. That's not the words that she used, but she indicated that, quote, time heals all wounds. So it looks like things are moving in a good manner. And TMZ had reported that they've been texting each other for a few weeks. So this was kind of a planned meeting that they had, which I actually think is a really good thing. Britney Spears has obviously been very, very public with her anger towards her entire family, her mom, her sister, her brother, and of course her dad. And I definitely think some of that anger is completely justified, especially as it relates to her dad. It seems as though, in my opinion, I think early on in the conservatorship, I do think that he did right by her. I do, because I think it's pretty clear when we look back at what was going on at the time that the conservatorship was first put in place. Britney was in a very serious downward spiral. She was clearly suffering from some form of mental illness and was unfortunately a danger to herself. So I do think early on it was the right thing to do, but I do think that her father ultimately abused the conservatorship and what it was for, and ultimately harmed her. And that's my cat in the background. That is Mittens. So she's crawling around here trying to say hi. But anyway, so there's a lot of anger geared towards that, as well as her mother and sister and brother, that from what she said, reports in the media, I think that she felt were co-signers onto the abuse to basically get money, to have their lifestyles, were effectively abusive themselves and grifters. That's kind of the opinion that, she's put out there, that she was asking for help from the conservatorship and nobody was helping her, and especially the people that she felt were the closest to her and should have. So I think that's been pretty clear for a long time. And so I think it's a good thing that she has entered this reconciliation period with her mom. I really do believe family is very important. And, we all need to have family. And sometimes it is the family that you create by the friends that you have around you. And of course, it's often your blood family that you have. And, parents are important. And I understand that, she's had to cut out her dad, and I don't blame her for that. Sometimes you have to cut out toxic people that hurt you, even if they are family. But you only have one set of parents, and I think it's a good thing that she's moving forward, at least with her mom, to try to reconcile that, because there is kind of this bond that exists between mothers and children that matter, and having them in your life is important, because life is fleeting, right? Anybody can walk outside and get hit by a bus. I know that's kind of an overused statement, but it's the truth. You never know what's going to happen. And, time is so precious that we need to use it wisely and try to mend fences when you can. So I do hope that this is a stepping stone moving forward to a positive relationship. I don't think that it should be a public relationship. I don't want to see these two, in award ceremonies together, out doing press together. I just like to see them maybe at a Starbucks, having a mother and daughter day. That's all that really matters. It doesn't need to be these huge outward public events, because I don't think that's going to serve any good. I don't think that's going to help anything. But I do see this as a step in the right direction. I do hope that eventually Britney is able to reconcile with her children. I think that is, the real sad part here. And, Britney Spears, in my view, was kind of this like sad tale of woe across the board. She's kind of a character like Michael Jackson. Obviously, they're not the same, but I think that their stories kind of parallel each other in certain ways, that they were very young when they got involved in the entertainment industry, were outrageously famous, incredibly famous. And both of these people are people that can snap their fingers and get whatever they want, however they want it. But it never gave them real personal satisfaction. It never gave them really what they wanted at the end of the day. And it just kind of sent them into these spirals. And with Michael Jackson, obviously it was drugs with fentanyl, propofol, and with Britney Spears, allegedly was, drugs and alcohol. And both went down these really negative pathways. And I think that's what can happen when you are so famous that you effectively become untouchable. And, with Britney Spears, she became famous when I was 15. I mean, I'm talking post Mickey Mouse Club, because that wasn't a huge cultural phenomenon. It was popular, on the Disney Channel back in the day, but it was nothing remotely close to, how huge she became after Baby One More Time hit. And I remember that summer. I remember that you could not escape that song on the radio. It was everywhere. It was in high rotation on MTV back when MTV had Total Request Live and still played music videos. It was everywhere. And, her fame only continued to get larger and larger and larger. And now I think it's pretty evident that she's kind of wanted to step away from that. She hasn't really done anything. She did release that song with Elton John about a year ago at this point, maybe a little bit less. But, she didn't really make a video for it. There was no promotion for it. She has not done anything. And of course, there's rumors that she's never going to perform again, that she's never going to record again. And maybe that may be true. Or maybe right now she just wants to take a break and wants to do something different and experience something different, which she is completely entitled to if that's what she chooses to do. Maybe in 20 years from now, she'll decide to release a record. And if she wants to do that, that's her choice. But I think that, she has a lot of work that she still needs to do on herself. And I'm obviously no mental health expert, but a lot of the stuff that she does have on Instagram does concern me from time to time. Mostly her physical appearance. And I'm not trying to be nasty about her, because she's a beautiful woman. But sometimes, her hair and her makeup looks just really almost disheveled. Like she's, like slept in it and didn't bother to comb her hair, or, like her makeup's super smudged. And it just doesn't look right. And again, I'm not trying to be a bitch about it, because that's not what I want to do. But it definitely kind of says to me that there is some personal care issues maybe going on. And even like the way she talks sometimes can be a little manic. So that does give me some concern, and even boundary stuff, right? Like she posts a lot of nudes or nearly nudes. And obviously anybody has the right to post whatever they want to do. But I think, when she looks to nudity as a way to express herself, and we all have freedom of expression, how we want to express ourselves. This is how I'm choosing to express myself. I just wonder, why we're choosing that route of personal expression as opposed to something else. Like, she dances, which is great, you know, for her form of personal expression. And I do believe she paints as well. So why not, you know, do that, you know, paint that kind of stuff, post pictures of your paintings, to find those other avenues of personal expression that are positive, because sometimes I think nude photographs like that tend to be more exploitive than positive in nature, or empowering. And that's not always true across the board. You know, I think, you know, nudity, if done right, can be really something spectacular, and a beautiful form of art. But I don't really see these as being artistic photos. They're just more designed to be titillating in nature. And I don't know. I don't know if that's really the right way to go about things. And that's kind of the big, kind of circling back. That's really the big beef. Well, one of the big beefs her kids have with her is that she's posting all these nude photos on Instagram, and it bothers them. And I can understand, you know, these are teenage boys. They are in high school. And so all of their friends are on Instagram who are going to be like, hey, I saw your mom's boobs. You know, that's embarrassing. And I totally understand why they would feel that way and feel that, you know, maybe their mom isn't respecting them. And I know that they've had a lot of back and forth over the years, and issues with Kevin Federline, and issues with Jamie Spears in terms of their relationship with their mom. And not to say that it is not likely very fractured, but I guarantee you that Britney loves those boys, absolutely loves them. And I hope that they can find it in their heart the way that Britney has found it in her heart to reconcile with her mom, that they can reconcile with her. And it may not be perfect. It may be bumps in the road, but I would like to see that. And I think that would be a nice thing for them to be able to do, because again, you only ever have one mom. And that relationship is really important. You know, my mom is dead. And there are times that I would give anything to be able to pick up the phone and talk to her or give her a hug or something like that. But that's not something that I'm able to do. But these people are. And so working through the hurt, whether, you know, they need to go through family counseling or something like that, I think is really important. So hopefully they can, you know, get through that and work on things together. Because there are now reports that Kevin Federline is wanting to move the children to Hawaii. And I think the oldest boy is almost 18. If he hasn't graduated high school, he's getting ready to. And the younger one is maybe will be a junior in high school. So that just puts a further divide when you're a Pacific Ocean away. But I do know that Britney Spears often goes to Hawaii. It's one of her favorite vacation spots. So hopefully they can get together when she goes to Hawaii. But I do hope for that reconciliation, and I hope things move forward, and I hope that she is able to reestablish her relationship with her sister and her brother. I think the relationship with her dad is dead in the water, and it's never gonna get back together. And I think that's probably for the best, because I do think that the conservatorship was abusive. But I do think that there are other things going on with the conservatorship. And so I'm going to do a different video about my opinion on the conservatorship. And I know that's kind of been done to death and it's a little bit old news, but I wanted to talk about it from a slightly different perspective. So I'm going to make a second video on that. So hopefully you'll come back and tune in for that. So, oh my goodness. So thank you for listening to me talk about my opinion on Britney Spears and this new reconciliation. And I look forward to hearing from you in the comments. Thanks. Bye.